Yo, guys, what's up? Josh here,
Hey, this is Mike, and we are.
real dad.
That's
And
right.
and tonight we have a fun show. I think we haven't been live in I don't know what 3 or 4 weeks, Mike. It's been a little while,
Yep.
but I was clamoring to be live again. I love coming live here and just chatting with Mike about movies and stuff. Um, I don't know if you guys noticed, we put out our first horror news episode. Um, and I don't
Yes.
think it. I don't. I think it did pretty good for us. Um, and I think we're gonna do those once or twice a month, right, Mike?
Yeah, we talked about this probably 5, 6 months ago, and it's just been a matter of trying to get a format together for us. So I think going forward, we got some resources to get some information out on a consistent basis, and it's just a matter of us documenting all that, and then
Yep.
being able to sit down and do a video. That's we're trying to probably keep them less than 10 minutes long, but
I mean,
um,
if it's like huge breaking news, we might try to do something instant, like that day. But yeah. So that's what we got going on, guys. So Mike, I agree with you. I think it's a good idea. But uh, so what are we talking about tonight, Mike?
So tonight we're talking about the Blumhouse franchise, which, over the last 6 months, even last year and a half, 2 years, well, 3 years really, it's gotten a lot of positive and negative comments about it.
Yeah.
Especially more than anything, David Gordon Green. We all know that. We beat that horse to death, and we'll
And we're
beat it
still
a
gonna
little bit more tonight.
Hey, no, but seriously, I mean, I just remember like when I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, seeing Blumhouse, and I was like, oh man, I'm excited. I see Blumhouse now, I'm like, I'm cautious about this one. You know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
never know.
Has it changed any for you, Mike, at all? Like the Blumhouse name? I mean, has it just? I mean, that's a question. Has it changed for you since you kind of noticed that they put out horror movies, and then now, over this time that we've got to watch a lot of their movies, has your opinion changed of the studio?
I don't know if it's changed to the studio. It
Well,
definitely it definitely
well,
changed on.
Blumhouse production. Well, I'll say Blumhouse production. Has it changed?
I don't know if it's changed so much as them as it has, especially a director, especially David Gordon Green.
Yeah, but
Uh,
listen, dude, they let it go, didn't they? They let it come
yeah,
out.
they did. So overall, you know, they could do better. They could do worse. They had a really good one last year, and we'll talk about it. They had a stinker right off the bat here in 2024.
They had a huge hit. I think their biggest hit last year, Mike. Box office success. They had their hugest hit last year, and that's
Wow.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, and that's one that's on our list. We're not going to say if it's good or bad, but it is on
Right,
our list tonight.
right. Yeah, we are talking. That's what we're going to talk about: good and bad of Blumhouse, and we're going to kind of throw up some Rotten Tomato scores, show you guys. We'll say our now. A lot of these, I'm pretty sure. Now, of course, we didn't get every single movie that Blumhouse has done because they have a ton, but we got a good list here. I feel like they're good movies, they're bad movies, and we'll kind of go over them. I think I've seen all of these movies on this list except for maybe just a couple, but I've seen a big majority of them. Mike, is that how you feel about the list?
Yeah, I don't have every one of them listed. I know we looked at Rotten Tomatoes. They had a list of I think every one of them, and they ranked them from
Right.
best to worst. And there was a lot of that I agreed with them. There was some that I disagreed, and I think there's even some that you have on this list that I agree with, and some I disagree. And that's fine. That's what the horror genre is about. We're not all going
Yeah,
to like the same thing.
that's right. That's right. So tonight we'll probably have some disagreements, but that's fine. That's what it's about, man.
Right?
So
Put up
let's
them
get this.
dukes, man.
Yeah, let's get this started, Mike. Let's go ahead. You want to start with the good ones or the bad ones? Okay, good.
Let's start
Okay,
with the good. We got good on here first, Josh.
okay.
And
Go ahead and
first
throw
thing
them.
we
Oh,
got is Get Out.
excellent. I agree. It's an excellent movie. I saw this movie in the theater. Me and Michelle went. We didn't know what to expect. The trailer was really good. And yeah, I agree with this score, man. 98. I mean, it's high for me. I would give it a 9 out of 10, probably, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
Great.
an incredibly high uh, critic score and fan score. I mean, 98 and 86.
Yeah.
2017, though, we got to notice we need to pay attention to that on these movies you was talking about in the last couple of years. As our opinions changed, let's keep an eye on are some of these the older movies that are better, or are they the more recent ones?
So, Mike, do you agree, like with me, that this is a really good movie with a really
if you have not seen this movie and you consider yourself a horror fan, you need to take a hammer and hit yourself in the head that you haven't seen it. No, don't do that. Don't want a lawsuit or some kid somehow finding this. But yeah, it's definitely one I think you should watch. Definitely.
Oh man, the story is really good.
Yeah. And then the further in the movie it gets deeper and deeper, and you're just like, whoa. I mean, just
Yep.
It's good.
It's really good. And there's some social commentary in the movie. But I think it's very accurate social commentary. But yeah, it's really good though. Honestly, go see this movie if you haven't.
Yep. All right, so next, the one that we have beaten a million times to death.
No, over here, my dog.
And I've got my knife here to eat this horse after we've beaten it so bad.
Okay? So what we got here, Mike?
So we got David Gordon Green's Halloween.
Yep.
79-72, a pretty good score. 2018, the first movie he had coming out on his trilogy. Then his second movie, though, is kind of, the critics didn't like it, a 39.
Right.
But the audience is still a 66, fresh. It's got the popcorn there. So the audience likes it. I will say this right off the bat, Josh, and you and I have talked about this before. That scene right there on the right side, when he comes out on Halloween Kills with that house on fire, that is to me one of the best cinema shots, probably all the way back to the original, in my opinion.
Yeah,
of him. It's really an awesome shot.
The whole thing, him come out of that house and him stand there while the whole thing's crumbling down, incredible. But also you got to remember that evil dies the nights in this movie, Mike, and that brings it down quite a few notches in the whole town. Like, oh, we're gonna end this evil that, and it's just they're like a senseless mob, and like you're going after a guy that you think's Michael Myers. You actually think this fat dude is Michael Myers? Give me a break. Like, no. Like, come on, no. And incredible beginning to this movie. I love it where he fights the firefighters. I know they got some slack for that actually, because he killed firefighters, I guess. But it's a movie, guys. Come on now. He kills how many cops? So I mean, come on. But Halloween Kills. I personally think it's pretty good. I wouldn't give it a 39. I'd probably be more like 50%, half and half for me, because half of it's good, half of it's bad, in my opinion. Now, the first Halloween, I think that is the best out of the trilogy. I still enjoy it. I saw it in the theater. I was really excited about it. When we rewatched it, I liked it. It did kind of bore me some, but I'd probably give it a 7 or whatever. But, yeah, definitely, two movies that I wasn't mad at, though, really, even though Halloween Kills wasn't great, but I was excited to see what they were going to do with the third movie, Mike.
Yeah, this again, dead horse here. I like these two are okay to me. The Evil Dies Tonight is definitely an overkill. I could take that out of the movie. I'd be much better to me.
Yeah, I agree.
My problem with this trilogy, and I've said it since day one, is, and we'll talk about another one here later on, is how they've made, Laurie Strode look like this, drunk alcohol, bad mother. And this trilogy, we have to remember, it picked up off of 1.
Right.
It didn't pick up off of 2. It picked up off of 1. So,
right. Well, that'd be like if they did like a retcon of Scream, and they made Sydney like an alcoholic and all this after one time. You know what I mean? It'd be like the same thing, and it would be stupid. And Scream fans wouldn't like that. So I can understand how you wouldn't like that as an old school Halloween fan. You didn't like the portrayal of Laurie Strode, and I would totally understand that. But, they tried something different a little bit with the characters. I didn't like that they retconned the cop's death because the one cop that's her friend that
got run over and
he died in the first movie. Then in the second movie, he's miraculously still alive somehow. So I didn't like that because come on now, it was one movie ago, guys. It wasn't like it was a Halloween 2 and then they retconned in like Halloween 7 and we forgot about it. You know what I mean? So,
but these still are underneath the good movies. So these are ones that are above average because they got some stinkers out there we'll go over later.
Yeah, even though this does have a stinker of a Rotten Tomatoes score, though.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that it was that low, Josh, to be honest with you.
Can you believe, I don't want to bring it up just yet, but can you believe that this one has this score and the other one has a score above that one, Mike? I just can't believe that.
Yeah. When we get to that, we definitely got to talk about that a little more.
Yeah.
So, hey, this is one that I saw and my wife saw a long time ago. There's a part 1 and a part 2. And I thought this was a really good one, Josh. Creep, this dude in this movie is really a weird dude.
Oh, man.
So the critics' census is a smart oddball take on found footage horror. Creep is clever and well acted enough to keep viewers on the edges of their seats. So this is one of those, if you have not seen it, and Josh just recently saw it, I think it's definitely worth renting, or it's probably out there free now on Tubi or some kind of free platform. But I think it's definitely worth watching. The critics loved it at 91%, and the audience has come in at a strong 66% on it.
Yeah, like I said, I would actually, for me, I would actually probably put it like a 7. I'd probably go a little higher than a 6 for me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The guy that played the creep, awesome. There is a sequel. I didn't put it on here, but the sequel is not bad in my opinion. It's not as good, but they do continue the story, which I did like. So definite, Creep 1 and 2. I would put those on your watch list.
Yep. So let's go to the next one here. This is the one I was talking about last year, was the big hit for him in January or February of 2023. Too bad this year's didn't start out that well, but Megan, M3GAN, and they in 2025 there should be another one coming out.
Yep.
So I mean I think it's a solid movie. It's PG-13. Some of these you may see we're going to try to call out if they're PG-13 or not.
So that's the one thing that I don't care for Blumhouse is I know they're trying to go for a bigger audience, and I get that. But like the PG-13 horror, man, like it can be done well, and I've enjoyed some PG-13 horror. But for me, a horror movie needs to be rated R, in my opinion. Like that's why we're going to a horror movie. We want it to be rated R, in my opinion. I love a rated R horror movie. That's what they are, man. And then they did release an ultimate cut or whatever they call it, but I never watched it. But like I don't know how much they could add. So Mike, did you hear about the possible story for Megan 2 at all?
I have not. I've heard early on there was some ideas about it.
So
talking about there being multiple DAWs or even another DAW.
The thing that I heard, a couple outlets say, this is just a rumor, guys. But they're going to do like a Terminator 2 where Megan is actually going to be the good guy in this one, and she will be fighting other evil dolls.
What? Show me the money. That's what they're saying.
I think it sounds cool, don't it?
Big hit already.
I mean,
then everybody go out and buy their Megan dolls, and then in part 3, they'll make her be the bad guy again.
Well, I mean, you're copying one of the greatest sequels of all time, Terminator 2. So, I think it could work, man. I think it could definitely. Then you get to see her actually kick some butt and root for her. You know what I mean?
This is a good movie, but I think even way back when we first did
it's a little high, I think.
It never scared me. It wasn't horrifying to me.
It was fun.
It was a fun like a Chucky. Well, Chucky's a lot worse than this, but it was more of a scare movie than horror movie, even though it's in the horror genre.
I liked that her and Chucky had a back and forth on Twitter. I thought that was great. I mean, why not down the road do us a Chucky versus Megan? Let's do it, man. I'm all for it. I'm here for it, man.
So, Josh, this is the most recent movie on our list, I believe, right? Megan.
Oh Oh,
I
on the
mean,
good.
we can just pay attention to that. It's 2022. I don't think there was anything else in 2022.
I think this is a good one, so I definitely like it. What's the next one, Mike?
Sick.
Oh yeah, this one's pretty clever in my opinion. It's one of these COVID movies, like literally COVID movie. I like the story. I think it was pretty cool, the deaths, and then some of the twists they have in it. I enjoyed. You actually told me about this movie, Mike, and so we went and watched it. It was on streaming service. I think it was a Peacock or something. And yeah, me and Michelle really enjoyed it, Mike.
Was this a Shutter or a Netflix film, or
No, it was.
you
I think it
remember?
was Peacock or something,
Was it
dude.
Peacock? Yeah, I thought it was good. I like the end of it, the play on it.
Yeah.
The killer
Yep.
kind of reminds me a little bit of the Scream guy,
Yeah.
because of the mask and stuff they wear.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
another one that's, hey, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. I think it's, again, 87 from the critics, 73 from the fans that watch it. So that's a pretty good score.
Yeah, that's more than solid, dude. That's
Yeah.
that's really good. So
This is a one that I really enjoyed.
so Mike, I'm gonna call it right here. Me and Michelle started to watch this on Netflix one night, and for whatever reason, Michelle just said, "I don't want to watch this. It's creeping me out." Because like the lady's deaf,
Yeah.
and this guy's like coming after her, so she can't hear anything, him breaking in the house or anything. And I don't know, it just freaked her out. So we actually turned it off. I went to watch it, and then I went down a rabbit hole of it was taken off of streaming and it's not available anywhere. And there's like no one knows why or something. I don't know. So it was only on Netflix, and that's it. So Mike, I'm gonna let you talk more about this.
This is definitely good. I mean, you got it's kind of a real horror film. What I mean in that is it's not a made up slasher that's shot 25 times. It's a person that's lady that's deaf. She's out in the middle of the woods. She lives way out in the country, and there's a known person that's stalking people in the around the area. You don't know who it is. Then this person you're trying to, it's a guessing game. You're trying to guess who it is too. Is it her boyfriend? Is it the neighbors? Is it, you don't know until the very end, but it is definitely creepy. I love the way they filmed it. Kind of like Quiet, what was that, Quiet Place? There's scenes in the movies where it's just completely no noise at all, because it's perception from her point. But this hits home because it's like real. It can really happen.
Yep.
That somebody would take advantage of somebody like this.
Yep.
In a crazy way, and it's
right.
It's definitely if you are squirmish and don't like things like that, you definitely don't want to watch it. But I personally feel like if you're into horror flicks, definitely check it out. It's rated R, 2016. It says a horror mystery thriller. That's exactly what it is, because you're trying to guess out who the killer is the whole time as well. So next, we got, this is a really good film, Josh.
Wait, did you skip Cam? Did you put Cam on there?
You did not have Cam on my list, I don't think.
Oh, I swear I did.
I saw it on when I was going through the Rotten Tomatoes list. I saw it, but I didn't see it on the list you sent. But maybe I missed it. So we can talk about Cam.
I'm just going to talk about this.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Cam. I don't know the Rotten Tomatoes score, but I definitely recommend you go watch Cam. Me and Michelle went and watched it. Really cool, man. Like with all the, especially with all the girls doing OnlyFans and stuff now, it's like a take on that, like live streaming and all this kinds of stuff, and how it can go really bad, and you like basically lose your whole identity. Dude, it's crazy, Mike. I really recommend that you go see that you search it out, Mike. It's probably not for Anthony's eyes, but it is very good. I think you'll like it, Mike. So
yeah, I made a mistake. You did have it on the list. I just missed it, Josh. Just to let you know on that.
Whoa.
Can you believe I made a mistake? I'm allowed 2 a year, and that was my first one in January already. So,
but yeah,
let me look up real quick what this Cam is, and I'll just throw it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Mike, I told you, I said, I'm watching this, and I told Michelle, I said, I think we should try to watch this Cam. I heard it was pretty good. I think it was a COVID movie too. If, like a movie that came out during COVID. Yeah, very interesting movie, honestly. And then you're just like, whoa, what the heck is going on? You're just trying to figure this out with her. and just very interesting and good.
So
Yeah, man.
yeah, it's got a 93 from the critics, which is really good. 53 for the audience, a little bit lower. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 2018 horror mystery thriller, hour and
Oh, I
34
guess it wasn't a
minutes.
COVID movie. I thought it was, but um, yeah, definitely. I liked it, Mike. I think that 53 is criminal. I think it's at least a 6.5.
So it calls it a techno thriller that's far more than the sum of salacious parts.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Outstanding showcase of Madeline Brewer in the leading
Yep,
role.
she's really, really good. You should seek that movie, Mike. Honestly, it's good.
All
Okay,
right.
what's next?
So Invisible Man. I mean,
Yep, this is incredible. This is an incredible movie, and it's not just about it. This is about someone abusing somebody. This is about having like a partner that's abusing you, and they have like a stranglehold on you. Basically, they control your life. It's like way more deeper than just the Invisible Man. But they use that also as a thing, and it makes it much more difficult for her to get away from this man. Um, Excellent movie in an awesome script. She is an incredible actress, and yeah, great movie. Probably, I think this might be my favorite that we've talked about so far. I mean, I love Get Out. I think this might edge Get Out just because of the story. But man, the story of Get Out, maybe they're about tied for me. I don't know, but this is an incredible story.
yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Me and Michelle went and saw it at the movie theater, and there's a scene in there in the while they're eating dinner in a restaurant or something like that that is just crazy.
Yeah.
Where he comes up and I think he stabs or kills somebody right there and it makes it look like it's her.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy scene in that. But I was, in all honesty, it's been so long. I mean, even though it's only 2020, I kind of thought they left that open at the end of it for to be another one, and I hadn't seen another one. I kind of
Yeah.
thought there may be a part 2 on that come out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like I said, I think this actress is great, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen it probably since then, but it's just stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's stuck, like the whole abuse thing, and not, like that's how a lot of women in abuse relationships feel, Mike. Like they just can't get away from this person, and yeah, it was really good.
So the next one, Josh, I watched it last weekend. It's good. It got a 90 from the critics. It's called The Vigil.
I enjoyed it.
It's a different take. It's a PG-13. Really
Yep.
shocked it's a PG-13 with the horror in it. I mean, I don't know. It's a different type of horror, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, would I watch it again? No.
I
But
probably wouldn't watch again either. But like I just think some of the scares were really good, and I thought some of the ways they tried to trick you with different things in it, was really cool. Some of the things like the shots, like when the body was like in the cloth walking up the stairs and you just caught a glimpse of it, that was creepy, dude. Like that was a creepy shot, and he thought it was the woman, but it wasn't. And then you realize that the house is like taken over. It's actually not the corpse or anything like that. It's like the entities in the house. And oh man, that part that creeped me out, Mike, is when he's downstairs watching that movie or that film of that guy talking, and then all of a sudden you notice the wife is mouthing something, and you're like, "What is she saying?" And then all of a sudden, I said it out loud. I said, "Behind you," like that, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And he turned. Oh man, that was a really good scene, Mike.
yeah, the version I watched, they're speaking, in a different language. So there's part of it they got subtitles on, and part of it they
Yeah.
didn't have subtitles on the version I watched. That was a little bit. I was like, man, what are they really saying? I'm missing, what they're saying there.
Oh, they
I
had
will say
subtitles
this.
on them.
I will say this. This is a different take on entities and demons or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And it's taking it from a different perspective of the Jewish religion, which
Yeah,
I thought
like
was
that.
good and it was fresh. It was new.
Yep, I did like that because like we're used to seeing Catholic this whatever. So like I said, I liked it from a different perspective. I've never personally seen it from that perspective. So that's why I kind of liked it. I'm not saying it's an all-time great movie, but definitely worth a watch in my opinion. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I don't know, Josh, if you're old enough to remember this, but I remember as a kid, as a young kid, like probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, even younger, they used to have funerals in people's houses. So they would have the bodies
No,
at the family's home. And
nope,
this movie freaked me out on that because as a small kid, when you saw that, it kind of was like, even though it was most of the time it was an open casket like it would be at a funeral home, but it was in
right,
the person's home. This
yep,
right here, the whole time this body is underneath a sheet,
yep,
and you had to have a Jewish person here spend a night with it because they felt
yep,
like in their religion, part of the soul didn't leave completely right away. That that
right,
you had to stay for 24 hours with the body. So
yep.
it was a new perspective. I did enjoy that.
Yes, I did too. I definitely did.
All right, so this is one we watched here, and this is actually 2023. So this is on here. It's sooner than Megan was.
Yep,
Um, I watched this the next day after the next day after it came out.
yep.
I really enjoyed this movie. It's a campy movie,
It's
horror
fun.
comedy.
I'm not. I don't agree with the scores though. I think I would go a little lower. I'm more with the audience and probably on the lower side of the audience. I enjoyed the movie. Am I going to be watching it again? Maybe, but I don't think it's one of these ones that I'm going to watch every year or anything like that. You know what I mean? But I do like the story. I do like some of the aspects of it. I
Acting's
thought it was
great.
cool. Yes. And also I like that it's someone from like now's perspective going back to a different time. And I thought that was kind of cool too. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing to take serious. It's a time machine going back in time and trying to see your mom and dad back in the day when they were teenagers, and I kind of liked it. It
Yeah.
was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the 87 is really high from the critics. I'm
Yep.
probably more of the 70 to 75, 70 low 70 scores for me. I did think it was enjoyable watching it. I will watch it again. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. If it's on TV and I'm flipping through the channels, yeah, I'll probably watch it or something.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Here's another one you just turned me on to, and I just watched it this past weekend again.
Yeah.
Here's
Very
another
fun.
one that I think the score is a little too high for me, but again, it is a good flick. I
Yep.
love Vince Vaughn in this.
Yes.
83 from the critics and 80 from the audience.
Yeah. I mean, me and Michelle really enjoyed it. We didn't know what to expect. And then I do like the twist that they took the Freaky Friday concept and put it into a horror movie and kind of made it their own. And I really enjoyed that aspect
Yeah.
of it, Mike. Yeah, I mean, it's more comedy than horror, but it does have some really cool kills, especially that teacher getting sawed in half. That was really cool.
Yeah, and right at the very beginning, don't they take like a bottle and stick it through a guy's throat or through his mouth and out his? That was
Yep.
pretty crazy.
Yep.
I mean, right off the bat, the character Vince Vaughn is who the killer is, but Vince Vaughn does a great job. I mean, spoiler alert here: a 17-year-old and a 40-some-year-old man switch bodies, and Vince Vaughn is hilarious, acting like a girl. And
Yes,
and
it was great. Like I said,
yeah,
it's more comedy than horror, but it's good. I mean, I would give it a 7, Mike. I think it was that good in my opinion.
when him and the young guy like spill their guts about he's Vince Vaughn saying it from a girl's perspective through his body, and they're in the back of the car. I about lost it. I thought it was hilarious. And they went to kiss when they went to kiss each other. I was like, no, they're not. Yeah, they are.
It was funny. It was funny.
Very creepy. All right. So next, the Paranormal Activity movies.
Now, when I saw this, I wanted to kind of say that we were gonna put. So there's a bunch of paranormal activities. I think Blumhouse kind of hung their hats on this series, and they made money. So of course they're gonna make more of them. The first one I did like. I remember I watched it when it probably came out. When was that, Mike? Like 2009.
This is the very first one right here, 2007, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow. Well, I wouldn't seen that probably in the theater. And yeah, I thought it was pretty creepy. Some of the things that happened, found footage. Yeah, I thought it was okay. Now, they made a bunch more, and I never seen any of the other sequels because I can't speak on them. But I've heard some are good, some are bad. So that's going to be up to you. But I have seen the first one, and I would recommend it. I think it's all right.
Yeah, that's I noticed this feels like there's a resurgence of found footage films again. Blair
I
Witch,
like them.
the original Cannibal Holocaust from way back in the day, but it
Yep.
feels like it's kind of like the whole YouTube world. Everybody wants to see real life things going on,
Right.
so the whole found footage film is just feel like it's taking off again.
To me, I don't know if anything could ever beat Blair Witch, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of good found footage films out there. We watched Exist, Mike. We watched the Hell House LLC. I mean, there's a lot. And then, like for me, the VHS movies. I mean, some of the stories vary, but all really cool found footage films. Yes.
Yep. Black Phone, Ethan Hawke, 2021.
So I just watched some stuff on this today, Mike, and people were complaining about this movie that everything was in the trailer, everything cool. Now I don't remember the trailer, so I don't know, but I just remember really enjoying this movie. Ethan Hawke was awesome as the Grabber, and I love that name too. Like it's like a new horror character, the Grabber, the Mask. Like it's super cool. And I don't mind the whole kid learning things. Like I thought that was a cool thing about the movie, how the kid was learning from all the other past kids that were there.
Kind of reminds you of Sixth Sense in a way, the kids seeing dead people,
Yeah, and he like learned, like each one of them tried something to get out of the place and none of it worked. So what they did was they combined all of those into one trap and that worked. You know what I mean? That was really cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're making a sequel to this, Mike. So I don't know. They're going to have to do a prequel, I would imagine. But we kind of already seen all the people that he got. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it.
There was, Josh, I know we're a horror channel genre and you and I collect stuff, Funko Pop, but there was a drop today from Funko and I forgot all about it until I just saw this now. But there was a new outfit that the Grabber was wearing. He had blood splatters all over him. And I forgot to get that. It probably sold out. I need to look tomorrow. But I did recently get some Funko Pops in that were in high demand. And I think that, like you said, I think the Grabber character is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, you're not pulling for him because he's, he was taking young kids in the movies.
Yeah,
but the actual character,
murderer.
the character itself is, is a new bad guy out there for us to root against.
Right, and I did, and like this would be a cool NECA figure. Like,
yeah,
you could interchange the masks because he's got like 2 or 3 different masks. You know what I mean?
I mean, 82 from the critics, 88 audience. I mean, that's like really high. I mean, I think it's a good movie though.
Yeah.
All right,
Michelle. Hey, listen. Michelle said Mike flexing on his Funko Pops.
Bam. Hey, Josh, you want me to go over here and get it real quick and bring it back and show you?
Oh man, to me, this is a phenomenal movie. The actor James McAvoy,
psychological thriller galore.
Oh, did you like this one, Mike?
Yeah, I seen it way back when it came out, so it's been a long time. I haven't watched the second. Yeah, his character, he was crazy.
So me and Michelle, like, we were looking forward to this movie, had no idea that it's technically a sequel to Unbreakable. Didn't know that. At the end of the movie, you see Bruce Willis sitting in the cafe or whatever. And you're like, what the frick? That's the guy from Unbreakable. Now, Unbreakable wasn't a huge hit, but of course, obviously, M. Night Shyamalan wanted to do like a universe type thing. Not that it's technically a direct sequel, but it's like in the universe, I'll say. And they did make another one called Glass, I think it was called, where they brought all the characters in as one. Man, when he turns into that beast and he like amps himself up, oh man, that is cool, dude. And then he's all these different characters. It is a great, great acting display, Mike.
Yeah. I agree. Yes. Nothing much to say about it. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely worth it. Mystery, thriller, horror, it's all in one. Great acting, the different personalities, the different characters. Yeah. Really awesome job.
I think that was one of the movies that kind of like M. Night Shyamalan was like having trouble, and that kind of like brought him out of like the shadows he was in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have you seen these, Mike? I'm just wondering.
I have. Me and Anthony have
Oh,
watched them a couple of times.
I like them both.
I mean, yeah, I liked one better than two. Looking at them, they got almost identical scores:
Yep.
71-67,
Yep.
71-60.
Me and
This is kind of
me and
like a
Michelle went.
horror
Me and Michelle went.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, me and Michelle went and seen both of these in the theater. Actually, enjoyed both of them. Like you said, Groundhog's Day, but in horror, like another twist on a classic movie, like Freaky. I like that. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, and especially when it's done well. And these both were done well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So this
Oh,
one is a freak. It's got some freaky elements to it. Really shocked the
oh,
audience score is not higher on this, but it's The
oh.
Visit from 2015. It is a PG-13 movie.
Yes, Michelle can't watch this movie anymore. I think she watched it once and she'll never watch it again.
There's a scene in this movie, if I'm not mistaken, where they're up underneath the house and they're like,
no, not that.
huh?
Are you talking? Oh, you're talking about where the grandma's crawling around?
Yes.
That's crazy. What about the one where the grandpa takes the diaper?
Oh yeah.
Mike, that is one of the worst things I've ever. Like, okay, a lady sawed her leg off and saw X. This is worse than that, in my opinion. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
this is a crazy movie, and I love the story on it though, because by the end of it, you're like, the story comes together at the end, and you're like,
it's
whoa!
Great. We didn't expect it. Me and Michelle.
Me neither.
I mean, that's an M. Night Shyamalan movie where his twist was really good again.
Yep.
Yeah. Michelle, she says, I hate The Visit. Yeah. It just creeped us out. And this is PG-13 horror done right, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many like that, and there's not a ton of blood and guts in this or anything. That's why it's PG-13. But the whole storyline and
both scores are low in my. Both scores are low in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that the tomato score should be up around 75 to 80, and I definitely could see the audience score up around 70. But you can't argue with the mass people. There's 25,000 people that's rated this. So law average was 51s. I mean, that means there's people that thought it was better than that. There's a lot of people that thought it was worse than that. So, my opinion, I think it should be a higher score.
Okay. Same. I agree.
Yeah. What did Michelle says? The grandma freaked me out really bad. She was weird. She was definitely freaky.
Yep.
Sinister. Another Ethan Hawke movie, man.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, this movie freaked me and Michelle out too.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I mean, what's the evil entity's name? Is Bagul, I think. Isn't that what he's called?
I can't remember his name, Josh, but
I think it's Bagul. He's not super creepy. The things that really got to me on that movie was when he was watching those tapes, and then and what was it? It was like all of a sudden,
another found footage film, man, where they find
footage. It was like a happy family or happy people. Then all of a sudden, it's like. No, like the one part that we just
tree
we were tripping, huh?
The tree, is this the one?
No, where it's like the happy family, and all of a sudden you see a lawnmower, and then the heads are there. That was crazy. And listen, this movie was really good. I think this score is criminal. 60 and 6. No, that's criminal in my opinion.
So we're defending you, Blumhouse. We're defending Blumhouse on these. So when we get into the ones that are stinkers, don't get mad at us, Blumhouse. I know some executive like David Gordon Green is probably watching this right now with the other 4 people.
Executive. Hey, but seriously though, yeah, it's criminal. That's a criminal underrated, man. This is a great movie in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely go check out that. Good movie. And then this is kind of represent the whole Purge. I mean, look, this is the original Purge. 40 and 36 is not good. But some of the newer Purges did better.
Yes. So I think the Purge is kind of like where you have the Paranormal Activity, where the success varies from movie to movie. And I think the Purge, as it went on, it got better. And I think with Paranormal Activity, the ones that went on, it got worse. So it's kind of like the opposite of their. I haven't, to be honest. I watched the first Purge. I'm pretty sure. It was okay, but I haven't watched any past that. but I heard that they get better. So I'm gonna have to check those out, Mike. I'm gonna put that on my list to watch probably the Purge movies this week at some point.
Yeah, I remember watching the first couple, and I thought they were better in this score right here. But that whole concept of people having a period of time they can just go out and kill anybody they wanted to and get away with it is
Right.
pretty scary because you hear all the suspicious things about medical and this, that, and they're letting people die and all that. And it just makes you question things. But the concept of it is pretty scary and horrifying.
Yeah, I like I said, I think it's kind of a cool thing. Yep. Now, before we get to the bad movies, let's take a minute and pick 3 or 4 of these movies from this list as our favorites from the good movies, Mike. You want to do that real quick?
I'm sorry, Josh. I couldn't hear what you're saying. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying that let's take a little minute and pick like our top 3 favorite movies from this good list, Mike.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm going Get Out, The Invisible Man, and I think I'm going with Split. Those are my favorite 3 movies off of this list, which I think those movies probably have the best acting out of the ones on this list as well. But yeah, I would pick those 3 as my 3 top of that list.
Wow. So out of these movies,
they don't have to be any order.
I'm going to go with Black Phone.
Okay.
That might be a kind of a sleeper in there.
Yeah, but it's good.
Black Phone. I'm going to go with The Invisible Man. I really liked that. It really was good. And I'm going to go with Sinister. Sinister really just was freaky with me with the found footage stuff. I mean, I know those 3 are kind of, I could pick 2 or 3 other ones. Like, Megan was good. It just didn't scare me or I didn't think it was horrifying, but the storyline of it's great. I could have probably picked 5 or 6 of these very easily that I'd be honest with you, I forgot Blumhouse was even part of them.
Okay.
So you ready to look at some bad ones?
Yeah, let's go.
Really don't want to look at them, but we got to call them out, don't we?
Yep.
Can you believe that? Well, look at that. Can you believe the Halloween Ends?
Listen, Mike, that has a higher score than Halloween Kills, and I don't know how that's possible. Like, Halloween Kills should not be a stinker. It should be like for me, Halloween Kills is a 50% movie, but this is definitely not a
17 and 18-year-old girls that like Corey.
So, listen, we've went over it. Listen, there was no movie, in my opinion, that has done a worse job on a major character, like that did him such a disservice. That's what I'm just trying to say. Maybe I would sit here and think of one. I mean, Halloween Resurrection was pretty bad. Busta Rhymes beat up Michael Myers and electrocuted him, but like this actually damaged the character, in my opinion. You made him look weak. All the things we've talked about. Yep. The Corey character. Listen, the Corey character could have been something okay, but they screwed that up too. So, and then by this time, Lori, I mean, she's not a drunk or not no more. She's trying to be Susie Homemaker or something. I don't know.
Fixing a pumpkin pie for Christ's sakes. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't know what else we can say, but this movie should be. I know there's people that like it though, Mike. Like we had guest on Sean Clark. He likes this movie.
Well, I don't know that he said out of the 3 that was the least one he liked. He thought that it would be like Halloween 3 over time, over the next 20, 30 years. I'm going to be dead and gone. So I'm just telling you what I think about it now. It sucks in my opinion. This is my problem with it. Real quick and easy. They made Michael Myers look like a jerk, a little weak little wimp, little bitch. They made Corey look like a badass. If they would at least kept it where Corey maybe took the mask and at the end he took on the Michael Myers persona for going forward, I would have been okay with that.
Yep.
I just thought it was way too much Corey for a character that supposedly got killed off
Well,
And
remember, 45 minutes into the movie is when you first see Michael Myers. So,
yeah, go
yeah.
back and watch our review on that. And we spent a long time on it.
Yep. So, okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, gosh.
Is this the same director, right, Josh?
Yes, David Gordon Green. Listen, dude. I've soured on this movie quite a bit since I originally seen it. I didn't think it was that bad, but the more I've thought about it, the more I've watched some things about it, it is really bad. Honestly, it's bad. There are some things I like about it. I like that they tried to incorporate other religious beliefs. I do like that, kind of like the Vigil when it was from the Jewish perspective. This had a couple other religious beliefs in it, which I did like because there's more than just one religion out there that could whatever. But I know that The Exorcist has always been about the Catholic Church or whatever. But I thought it was kind of cool that they did that. And a couple of the special effects weren't bad. But this movie deserves every bit of this score, in my opinion.
Yeah, the first time, I'm an old school, 1970, 74, or is that 1973? 50-year anniversary this year of Exorcist. I just thought it was just lame. There was so much more that could be done with it. I didn't think they built the characters up enough. You didn't know anything about the girl on the right of this picture, or it's my right. I guess it's your right on the screen. They built up this other character. You knew she was going to survive from the very beginning because the whole story revolved around her. And just a horrible job, in my opinion. I
Hey,
will
look
say
at
this. I watched it the second time with my wife, and she's not a diehard Exorcist like I am from the OG. She didn't think it was that bad. Now,
right. My
wasn't
wife,
the greatest movie ever, so probably in her
no,
mind, it probably is a low 50 score to her.
right. And look at, I mean, Michelle, my wife, she thought it was bad, not bad at all. She liked it too. So, I mean, like I said, I think it varies. The mileage you get out of it. Casuals probably wouldn't think it's that bad. It's just like another, to me, possession movies are played out, in my opinion. They need to go away. And we're going to get to another possession movie coming up here, right here, Insidious. There's a lot of hype around this movie. And it gets a lot, look at it, it's got a decent score.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is 67, 62, and we got it on our bad movie list.
Well, to me, it was bad. Me and Michelle watched this for the first time. We did a review on it, Mike. And, a couple, like the first little bit was a little creepy, like when the noise came through the baby speaker or whatever. But it soon just fell off a cliff to me.
You saw the person outside the window. That was pretty spooky.
Yeah, it just fell off a cliff real quick to me. And they've made a million of these things, just like the Paranormal Activities and the Purge. And I personally haven't seen any of them, and I'm not going to unless we do a review on one. I know that you kind of went a little bit deeper into it than I did, but I'm not watching any more of them.
Yeah, I think I watched through number 3, and that was just enough for me. This one, this one I thought was pretty good till it got to about the last, probably the last half of the movie, but the last 30 minutes of it really just lost me. I was like, wow. But yeah, it's got a cult following. Some people just love this franchise, and they love the Insidious movies. And hey, if you're one of those person, man, more power to you. Like what you like. It's not for me.
No. Oh, and listen, Mike, it also has that whole series, kind of like the Conjuring series, jump scare-itis. I mean, it's just jump scare after jump scare. I don't like that crap.
So you got on here now, Ma, 55 from the audience. The critics, 64 from the audience. Josh, have you seen this movie?
Yes, I have, and I didn't think it was a bad movie, but
I didn't either.
To me, it's just not. It's just average. It's not anything great.
So why do we have it on the bad? Why do we have it on the bad list?
Because I just didn't. It doesn't. I don't think it measures up to the ones on the good list. I don't think.
I mean, it got a 64 from everybody. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I would say it was probably a 6 out of 10, but it's not a 5 out of 10.
My wife said she also likes Ma. She says, "I guess I like bad movies."
That's okay. All right, Michelle. Some of us just have bad taste.
Yeah. Well, Mike, you like what was that? Oh, you like that Dead End movie or whatever it's called.
Yeah. All right. This is one that's probably going to get, if people make it this far into our show, 50 minutes into the show, they're probably going to hit the roof on this one, Josh. Critics hate this, 32.
This,
Audience has got a hell of a score, Josh, 87.
well, Mike, I told you this movie made more money than any other Blumhouse movie ever, Mike.
Jeez.
I think it made $200 million.
It's another PG-13.
And to me, me and Michelle gave it a shot. Michelle says people at work hated Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I didn't think it was that good. Hey, I did. There's one shining spot. I love seeing Matthew Lillard again in a movie. Spoilers, he ended up being the bad guy. He was under the mask, kind of like a callback to his Scream days. I thought he was cool in it. And I'm assuming he's going to have a bigger part in the sequel. I mean, this movie has done something for his career, Mike. You can tell by his con prices because of that. You know what I mean? His con, I think he was the most expensive guy at the con for an autograph and a picture, if I'm not mistaken. Not that that's bad. I mean, he just had a hit movie come out, so why not? You know what I mean? And there were a lot of people there wanting Five Nights at Freddy's stuff signed, Mike. To be honest, there really was. So
I watched it. The first time I watched this, it was late at night. I was a little sleepy. About 20 minutes into it, I fell asleep. It couldn't hold my attention. I was sleepy. So I went back and watched it again intentionally about a week or two later. And I was ready to turn it off 3/4 of the way through the movie. It just did not scare me again. It was just not, I don't know, maybe because I'm older, I'm in my early 50s, and I wasn't part of the whole Five Nights at Freddy's video game thing. I remember the pizza places, the Godfather's Pizza and some of those Showbiz Pizza and all those places back in the day, but this just did not do it for me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie's bad.
Truth or Dare? I've never seen that. Never even heard of it.
This movie's horrible, Mike. You don't want to see
it.
It's really bad. It's bad. Me and Michelle watched this somewhere. I can't remember. I mean, obviously it was here, but I don't remember when did it come out?
Another PG-13 movie.
When did it come out?
2018.
Yeah, we watched at some point. It's not good. It's really bad. It's probably, I'm gonna look at this list. It's probably the worst movie on this list, Mike. It's bad. I mean, you can watch it, Mike, but and make up your own mind. But it's not good.
Sinister 2. Now you follow Sinister was great, and you follow up Sinister 2 with a 14 and a 31.
It fell so flat, man. Some of the movies were okay that they showed, but for the most part, it just did not live up to Sinister 1, man. Bagul, he should have just stayed home because it wasn't that good.
Oh, Josh. This is the movie Josh said, Mike, come on, go see it so we can do a review on it. And it's made your top worst movies list, Josh. Just came out.
Mike,
2024.
Listen. When you got a horror channel, you got to bite the bullet and go see movies when they come out, I feel like.
This is the same guy that didn't watch Evil Dead Rise for about 9 months, and he finally saw it 9 months later.
This movie, they did some things that I liked. I will say that. It was not good. It's bad. It's really bad, actually. I don't know what I gave it. I've had more time to think about it.
Josh, once you marinate, I mean, you always come out and say it's not that bad, it's okay, and then like a week or two later, well, it's really bad. Yeah, it's not really, really, really bad.
Well, and like Michelle says, it's not scary at all. It's just not. The acting's good. I thought the acting's pretty good in it, actually. It's got Kurt Russell's son plays the lead, like one of the leads as the husband. I think his name's Wyatt Russell. Yeah, I thought it was all right acted, but they did a lot of stupid stuff in it. Yeah, it just didn't land for me now after thinking about it and sitting on it for a while. It's a PG-13 horror movie, Mike, and it didn't do well. I think it made Mike. This is the bad thing. It made its money back. It went over its budget. I think it made its money back plus some. And the director, I think, already said he has further ideas for Night Swim sequels. So we're probably going to be getting a Night Swim now. Mike, they can redeem themselves. There have been movies that I heard, like I heard Nun 2 was not bad. Nun 1 is horrible. Nun 2 I heard is actually better than Nun 1. So, I mean, there are movies where the sequel is better when the first one's bad. So, it could happen, Mike.
So does that mean you're going to go watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2?
No, I didn't watch Winnie the Pooh 1. That was you. Now, do you want me to remind you who was the one that ran out and paid for Halloween Ends in the theater?
Sometimes, Josh, when you have a horror channel, you have to go out and do it for the...
Well, it was free on Peacock, Mike, that same day.
That was a lesson learned. That's why I don't do it no more.
Hey, so, Mike, out of this list, what is your just top 2 that you were so disappointed in, Mike? Not that they're the worst, but personally you were the most disappointed in these 2 movies. I'm going to say Halloween Ends, and I'm going to say Sinister 2, man. I was very disappointed in Sinister 2.
So, yeah, I agree with those. But since they're exact same, I'm going to say, for me, I agree with you totally on them too. And Halloween Ends would be my number 1.
Right.
But I'm going to come up with two totally new ones. So there's 4 total. Yeah. Exorcist Believer and Insidious for me.
Yeah.
I mean, Insidious I didn't watch it when it first came out. And I kept seeing all the hoopla, and it kept coming out with all these other, part 2 and 3 and different ones. I was like, damn, that's got to be a good franchise series. And then when I watched it, I was like, start out great, and then it just fell off for me. And then we beat the dead horse on Halloween Ends. So,
yep.
So Josh, hey, that's a pretty good list, man. It's right at an hour. Man. I do think we may need to look at down the road doing maybe just not a live event on it, but we could do a video on maybe the top 10 horror movies that are PG-13 of all time.
Right.
There's a lot of PG-13 movies in here, which kind of shocked me.
I would like to do A24 next.
Yeah.
They have a lot of horror movies. I don't think they have as many as Blumhouse, but they definitely have some movies. I'm trying to think of the bad ones that stick out in my mind. But I think we could do A24 as well. But because I think that'd be an interesting live as well. So thanks for watching.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hey, go check us out on Facebook. Watch us for the horror news coming out. We're going to try to put 1 or 2 episodes out every month. And always our trailer reactions and trailer movie reviews. So we definitely got some videos coming out on collections. I'm going to flex again for you guys out there. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one, Josh.
Bye. See you, Mike. Bye.